So we have a special guest that's joined us today. This lady that's here, her name is Linda Starr, and she comes to us from East Valley Adult Resources. And I believe she's going to share with us a lot about what the East Valley Adult Resources Group can do for us, do for each of us individually. So Linda, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your joining us, and we look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Well, thank you for inviting me today. I don't know how many of you have heard of East Valley Adult Resources. Probably none of you. But maybe 10, 11 years ago, we were Mesa Senior Services, and perhaps that name would sound familiar to you. We were Mesa Senior Services for, I guess, about 22, 23 years. And then times change. Times change, and there were reasons that we changed that name. We were always in Mesa and Apache Junction, and we had some services in other areas too. And people always thought that we were part of the city of Mesa. We never were, and it was irritating for people to keep saying, oh, well, you work for the city of Mesa. Well, we didn't. We are a private nonprofit. We're a 501c3. And so we said, well, let's get the word Mesa out of the title. So at that time, I guess about 10, 11 years ago, we became East Valley Senior Services, and that seemed to fit more of the geographical area that we served, because we did literally serve the East Valley, including Apache Junction. Well, that went on. I guess we had that name for about 2 or 3 years, and then our board of directors said, no, the word senior has a bad connotation. Nobody wants to be a senior. Let's find another name. So we became East Valley Adult Resources. And what we say is that we provide services for active adults 55 and up. So if anybody says to you, oh, you're a senior or you're older, no. You're an active adult. Just try and keep that in mind. So consequently, we had 3 senior centers that we had to change the names of. This was a big deal. I mean, really, a very expensive deal to change the names of all your facilities, all your correspondence. It was a big deal. So everything now is active adult centers. We have 3 centers. We have the Mesa Active Adult Center in downtown Mesa, historic downtown Mesa. Then we have a great big senior center not far from you, and it's the Red Mountain Active Adult Center in Red Mountain Park, just east of Power Road, north of University. And we also have a gorgeous multi-generation center in Apache Junction that the city of AJ built for us, and that is the Apache Junction Active Adult Center. So we're not just some little senior center in downtown Mesa. We're very big. We have 3 large centers, and in addition, we have a retirement apartment complex. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called Discovery Point. It's on Arbor in East Mesa, right near the Baywood Hospital complex. We're practically part of that complex. And it is a beautiful adult, active adult, independent living community called Discovery Point. So in addition to the 3 centers, we also have this lovely complex, Discovery Point. We have Corporately, we have about 80 to 85 employees, full-time and part-time. And if you haven't heard of us, we are pretty big. And what we do, what is our mission? Our mission is to keep active adults, seniors, independent and living in their own homes. Our goal is to keep you where you are. And how do we do that? We do that through services and through our centers. Through various ways, our goal is to keep you active adults, living and contributing to the community. That's exactly what we do. And we do it through various services. I happen to be, my office is in the downtown Mesa building, Mesa Active Adult Center. And I am the director of the outreach department. And basically, we're the ones who come out and speak. I'm very grateful for this opportunity this morning. It is us in outreach who come out and talk to the community about what's going on so that you can learn what resources are available to you before you need them. That's the whole point. If you know what's out there, you have that knowledge, and knowledge is a wonderful thing to have ahead of time rather than when you or your loved ones are in crisis. So what do we do? Okay. In addition to the centers, we have various service departments. And we're fortunate because a lot of our services are the only services in the East Valley. It's not like you're going to be able to pick up a phone and get home delivered meals from 10 different companies. We're it. We are it. And we are it for an awful lot of services in the East Valley. So take a close look at me because we're it. I'm going to tell you first of all what we do in outreach. Outreach is part of a division that we like to call Assistance for Independent Living. And in that division of East Valley Adult Resources, one of the departments is outreach. Another is Meals on Wheels, which I'm sure all of you have heard of. Another one is volunteer services. We also have in-home care, and we have a new program that we call Hospital to Home. So we have 5 different departments under Assistance for Independent Living. And Assistance for Independent Living, we think, is a pretty good name. It tells what our goal and our mission is. It's to assist you or your loved ones or your neighbors or friends to live independently in your own homes through services. At some point in time, we're all going to need some services to stay independent. People think that they're independent. We have 90-year-olds we're serving. We have people 103, 104. But they need that little bit of help to remain independent. And sometimes they'll say, oh, I'm completely independent, but truthfully they wouldn't be if they didn't have home delivered meals or they didn't have a volunteer taking them to the doctor. So we offer those little services to keep them in their home a little bit longer. So outreach, which is the department that I'm in, I did bring a flyer. I left materials on the table over here, which I hope that you will take when I finish speaking. Okay, the outreach flyer tells what we do in outreach. Okay, what do we do? Outreach Services' goal is to educate, inform, and refer older adults to community resources and options to assist them in accessing those resources so that they can remain independent thus delaying institutional care. Outreach staff, we have 3 full-time outreach people, 1 in each of the centers. Outreach staff are trained and constantly updated to professionally advise seniors on various subjects and topics such as dental assistance, home safety, veteran services, meal programs, end-of-life directives, fraud and exploitation, caregiver support, fall prevention, savvy saving for seniors. We have a loan closet. We are well-versed in dementia problems. What I like to say is that all of the topics that we are well-versed in are ways to help older adults maintain their dignity and self-reliance for as long as possible. And how do we work this in outreach? Well, we're available from 8 to 4, 5 days a week at the 3 centers. We have offices. People call us, people come in, they walk in with questions. Phone calls, outreach gets anywhere from I would say, from 900 to 2,200 phone calls a month, the 3 of us, depending on the time of year. This is a busy time of year because winter visitors are here. So we can easily get 2,000 phone calls a month. And one of those phone calls, what are they? Okay, it's somebody saying, hi, I live in Wisconsin. My mom and dad live in East Mesa, and I don't think they're doing very well. Maybe you can tell us about meal programs. Maybe you can tell us what other services might be available, because I don't think mom and dad really belong living alone anymore. That's a typical phone call. Other phone calls, discharge planners from Banner Baywood Hospital. Susie is coming home next Monday. Can you get her frozen meals? Another typical phone call. Or it could be someone saying, I'm a caregiver for my husband. He has dementia, and I don't think I can do this much longer. I'm ready to lose my mind. So we run the gamut of phone calls. As I said, we get a tremendous amount of phone calls. We try very hard to give resources to the people who call and who walk in with problems. Now, we're very fortunate in outreach. We can do home visits, and we do anywhere between 60 and 120 home visits a month. We go out in the community to those that are homebound, and we give them information, referral, education options in their own home. So we get calls, can you come out and talk to Dad about meals? Can you come out and talk to us about property tax rebates? So we do a tremendous amount of home visits, and it is only outreach that is able to do that. We don't have a lot of case management in the East Valley anymore. We've had a lot of cutbacks. So we're pretty much on the front lines. We get calls from Mesa Police Department, Apache Junction Police Department. And we try to do what we can to help these vulnerable adults. So basically, that's what outreach does. We are the answer people. We know a little bit about a lot. And what I like to say when I do these presentations is, we know just enough to be dangerous. So that's outreach. Now, I'll touch on this now rather than later. We also, in outreach, we don't have enough to do, we give caregiver forums. And we have 2 coming up, as a matter of fact, in the community. And I've left flyers. We have a caregiver forum coming up next Wednesday, the 26th. This is a workshop about planning ahead. Advance directives, powers of attorney, Social Security, reverse mortgages, all the things that go into planning ahead, knowing the resources in the community for caregivers, so that, although this is for anybody, so that you're not caught in a panic when things happen. Suddenly you find you can't afford to stay in the home that you love. If you planned ahead, hopefully that won't happen. So we have financial people coming to this forum to talk about that. We have Jackson White attorneys talking about Arizona long-term care. We have expert professionals who will be speaking on Wednesday about the importance of planning ahead. It's something we're very strong about in outreach, planning ahead. I myself do have powers of attorney in place and a living will, and until I did this, believe me, I did not have these in place. But when I see people out there, you know, that are our ages who don't have these things in place, and now because of dementia in the family, it's too late to get some of these things in place. Once your loved one has dementia, he or she cannot sign a power of attorney. And the only way to get control is to go to guardianship. And guardianship now, through court systems, is a minimum of $10,000. Power of attorney is free. So that's why we're having this caregiving forum on the 26th. It's going to be held here in East Mesa at Mesa Good Shepherd. They're nice enough to host it for us. They're partners of ours. We have lots of partners, business partners in the community. And Mesa Good Shepherd is hosting. Breakfast will be provided. This is a totally free informational forum, and the flyer is up there. Then in April, we have a forum on a more timely topic. Planning ahead is one we've done for a while. This one is on decluttering. It's on decluttering your home, your mind, and your life. And I've been fortunate enough to be a founding member of the Arizona Hoarding Task Force. So I teach decluttering classes, and now I've put together this forum, which will have lots of guest speakers who are so-called experts on the subject of decluttering. And decluttering is to avoid hoarding. We're not really going to tackle the hoarding issue. But on a note, some months ago, and it was just in the paper about 3 weeks ago, I was able to help a woman who was a cat hoarder. And her mobile home park called me in, and they were going to evict her. And they said she has 20 cats. When she moved in, she had 4. We allowed her the 4. Now she's got 20, and we're evicting her. And she was a senior, so I said, okay, let me come out and look at the situation. I don't know that there's a thing I can do. I don't know. Let me at least look. So I called her, went over there. I never went into the mobile home. I'm too smart for that. I don't go in. So she came out, and we were able to talk. The smell, unfortunately, was horrible, and that's why her neighbors were so irate. But anyway, I called in the Mesa Police Department, Mesa Animal Control, and there really wasn't a lot we could do. Animal Control wanted her to give up the cats, and they would take them to a shelter in Mesa. But the problem was, when the cats are not adopted, they're euthanized. She wouldn't hear of it. These cats were her life. Well, we were able to go online, and we found a facility that does not kill cats. We called them, and they said no, they were too busy. They had too many cats. They couldn't take hers. But we told them she's a senior, she's a veteran, she's disabled, and they kind of felt sorry for her. and took this case under their wings, and they went out. And the upshot is they removed 60 cats. She didn't have 20. She had 60.
Oh my God.
And they took the 60 to their no-kill shelter, which is where they are to this day. And they left her 4, and they neutered and the 4 that she had. None of these cats had been neutered. But animal control had told me, and this is the only reason that I stayed with this, that the cats were in beautiful condition. They were clean, well-fed cats. And that she, although a hoarder, she had provided a good home for them. But now she doesn't speak to me. You know, and I went over there at Christmas time with gifts that had been donated, and she wouldn't come to the door. I left the gifts. She's angry because I removed her 60 babies. So that's what we do in outreach. So anyway, we have these 2 forums coming up. I hope you will think about attending. Now, another thing that I'm sure you all are familiar with is home-delivered meals or Meals on Wheels. But we at East Valley Adult Resources, we don't just have what we consider Meals on Wheels. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meal programs. We have an amazing amount of options for people. We like to think that we have something to fit everybody. We have what you consider home-delivered meals, which is a government-supported program. And we serve, we deliver in Mesa about 425 meals every day and another 100 in Apache Junction. And so this is a big program. We don't, you know, people say, oh, well, do you use volunteers? Very few. It's too big a program. We have paid help. We have to have staff. People count on this meal every day. And if a volunteer doesn't show up, where are we? So it's a big, important program. So we have what we consider the traditional government-supported hot meal delivered 5 days a week. Now, everybody doesn't qualify for a government program. Everybody's not homebound and 60 and very low income. No, everybody's not that way, but it doesn't mean they don't need meals. So we have private pay hot meals and private pay frozen meals. We have options for people. There are people that are out on their golf carts. They can't be home when that hot meal is delivered. Well, we in Outreach will bring them frozen meals. I've left you a flyer. This flyer talks about our different programs, Meals While You Heal, where we can deliver 7 of our own frozen meals. These are all our own, prepared in our 3 kitchens. We can deliver 7 frozen meals to people returning from a hospital stay or a rehab center, or who just have a flare-up of a chronic illness. These are frozen meals that can tide them over while they're recuperating. They don't have to worry about where that meal is going to come from. Outreach brings them frozen meals for 4 or 5 weeks to tide them over. No one has programs like this anywhere in Arizona. So, you know, we like to pat ourselves on the back. We do have meal programs. We have options available that nobody else has. So when you think of meals and you say, well, you know, Dad's not going to be there every day to get that frozen meal. Maybe Dad is on dialysis and he can't be home at noontime. We have frozen meal options. So please be sure to take this flyer. It talks about the various options we do have. And those meals that do cost, the costs are down here too. Then, as part of our Assistance for Independent Living, I've given you this brochure that explains all of the programs, outreach, volunteer services. Let's talk a little about volunteer services. That's, okay, who qualifies for services? Well, adults age 55 and over who are low income, homebound, and they qualify for a volunteer to come and take them grocery shopping or to shop for them with a list. We also do medical transportation. You know, we have people who live in Maine and California who can't, whose parents are in Apache Junction, whose parents are in Chandler, and they can't take their parents to the doctor. Well, we have volunteer services to do that. We also do caring calls and visits, friendly visits. There are people who never have a visitor. The only person they ever see is that person who may deliver their meals to them. But we can provide friendly visitors for them. We have people who have formed fast friendships and have been volunteers for the same client for 10, 12 years. And they do friendly visiting and friendly phoning for people who never get a friendly phone call. We can also do visual assistance to help them with their mail. And we can do prescription pickups, a vital service for those who can't get out. And we are also part of the Senior Companion Program, where Senior Companion can provide volunteers who take them out for outings and things like that. We provide just wonderful services. Unfortunately, we usually have a waiting list, as well you can imagine, because there are just so many volunteers and the need is so great here in the East Valley. For our volunteer services, we don't just include Mesa and Apache Junction. We do Tempe, Chandler, and Gilbert also. So all of our programs serve sometimes different ages and sometimes different geographical areas. We're in 2 counties. It's a complicated deal. It really is. So you have to kind of call and figure out whether or not you or your loved ones will qualify for any given service at any given time. Then we have a program where we can send caregivers into your home to help you with certain tasks to keep you independent a little longer. What are those tasks? Bathing, light housekeeping. We can do that for you for a fee. And we have licensed, bonded caregivers who do that. Now, I should tell you too, all of us are level 1 clearance employees. If I come into your home, I have been fingerprinted and background checked. All of our drivers who deliver meals are fingerprinted and background checked. That's the other thing. In Arizona, that's a very important requirement. Do not let anyone into your home or the home of your loved ones, especially with dementia, unless you know that they are background checked and fingerprinted and have a level 1 clearance. Don't let anyone in without a badge. I can tell you horror stories about, I had a client some months ago who, someone came, I mean, you won't believe this, someone came into her home in downtown Mesa, removed her security system and put in their own and billed her a fortune. See, they saw that she had a security system outside. You know, you see these little signs that say ADT. She let them in. And then one person kind of distracted her, and the other one removed her security system and put in their own company security system. I mean, you can't believe the scams that are out there. So, anyway, we caution people to be very, very careful. So, we can provide a caregiver in the home for a fee. And we have a new program we call Hospital to Home. I'm sure you've read in the papers how Medicare is upset over the readmissions and the mistakes made in hospitals, and Medicare is cutting back on what they will and will not pay for. Well, we have a program called Hospital to Home that we're partnering with A.T. Still University, where interns follow these seniors home from the hospital and give them information on nutrition, fall prevention, follow up with their doctor's appointments so that they are not readmitted to the hospital. That's a new program that we have. So again, it helps people to stay healthy and happy in their own homes. All of our programs, we try to gear toward that, toward people remaining independent. We had a grant for a while from the city of Tempe called Silent Partner, where we provided a device that people wore on their wrist, people with dementia, so that if they wandered off, it would trigger a signal and the police department in Tempe could find them in a few minutes, because we're always reading about people who are wandering off into the desert and, they're not found for weeks. So we have that program that the city of Tempe paid us to coordinate. So again, but that was another way of keeping people a little longer in their own home and not in a locked facility. So everything we do is kind of geared to keeping you and your loved ones in your home. Now, just to conclude, I'll take questions if anybody has questions. Yes.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. In my husband's employment career, we lived all over the West, and there is no place that has services for seniors like Mesa, Arizona. Transportation, coupons for cabs, dial a ride, and all these services. You are given blessed to be here.
Yes, I believe that. Thank you for saying that. We do have services that other places do not have. That transportation that she mentioned, coupons for cabs, dial a ride, those are services that we started at our agency, and they became so big that they were taken away from us. But the coupons for cabs was our program. We had it for years. We stole it from California.
But theirs was not very effective.
No,
Theirs broke down all the time. Coupons for cabs are wonderful.
absolutely. So many active adults have these coupons. It is amazing the success of that program. We also had the reimbursement program that was ours too, and it is still in Apache Junction, where we reimburse
That coupons
people
for
for
cabs.
driving seniors to appointments. We have a reimbursement program in Apache Junction.
That coupons for cabs is a misnomer now because you don't get coupons. You get
a card.
like a credit card.
If any of you know about what used to be called food stamps and is now SNAP, it's now a plastic card that you take into the grocery store, and you charge it just like anything, and that's exactly how the cab coupon program works today. It's a plastic card that you load,
And it's
and you
still the
save
same 30 cents a
70%
mile.
of the cab fare in the city of Mesa. If, let's just say that you had a $10 cab fare, you would pay $3. So again, these are wonderful, and this was initiated by us at East Valley Adult Resources. We are always on the lookout for ways to help people stay active in the community and in their own homes. We're always looking for niche services. We're not just resting on our laurels. We are out in the community looking for new ways to help them. Any other questions? Okay, I've left a lot of information, including our very informative newsletter, on that table.
On the table over
There
here.
are some of my business cards also, and come to some of our forums. And any questions, just call. Yes, thank you.